Perfect. All right, Kirk, I'll turn the time over to you.
Beautiful. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Kirk, and I work with Lance Morgan. Sounds like a lot of you already know him. So thank you for joining us today. And welcome to today's training where we're going to teach you how to unlock the secrets to starting your very own college funding business. Now, before we get started, I kind of want to know where everyone's from. So do me a favor in the chat, type in city, state, give me your location. I'll do the same thing. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. So welcome to everyone who is joining us here today. As well as I want to make sure that everyone is in a good quiet spot so that they can have their pen, have their paper. And I've heard, Lance talk multiple times, and I've taken notes, and I've learned something new every time I've heard him speak. So you're in for a treat. But we have an exciting session here for you today. And I'm thrilled to introduce our speaker, Lance Morgan. Lance is a leading expert in the college funding industry with years of experience in helping families navigate the complex world of college planning and financial strategies. He's a seasoned professional and a passionate educator who has transformed the lives of countless families through his innovative approaches. Lance has dedicated his career to developing proven systems that empower financial professionals and families to make informed decisions about paying for college without compromising their financial future. Today, he'll share some of the most valuable insights and strategies that have helped him and his clients achieve remarkable success. Do me a favor and blow up the chat and welcome my good friend, Lance Morgan.
You are too kind, too kind. Thank you very much. All right. And thanks to all of you for joining us because it would be really boring if I were just talking to Kirk here. So thanks for joining us. I'm glad to have you. Feel free to share your cameras anytime. Make it a little more intimate, like we're all in one big conference room or something. But we're obviously all here virtually, and I'm happy to have you here. We are going to be talking about how to start your own college funding business because it is an extremely profitable opportunity for everyone right now. And I want to walk you through exactly how I have created a business that has paid me over $1 million a year. And I want you to be able to tap into what I've learned so that you can do the same thing. So we've got lots to cover. But although things are going really well right now and business is great, things are going well, it hasn't always been that way. I actually got started in this industry about 10 to 15 years ago in the financial industry. And maybe some of you know, if you've ever been in the financial industry or if you're familiar with the industry, you start out talking to friends and family, and then you realize how you don't have a lot of friends and family like you thought you did. And so you run out of people to talk to, and then you're always struggling to try to find leads. And it wasn't always that easy, to have this steady flow of leads coming in like I have today. Back in the day, we were trying everything to try to get enough leads coming in to talk to. And eventually, it led me to this online marketing world that we're in today. And it's a very long story how we ended up going down that road. But after hitting rock bottom financially and having to start over, my wife and I really sat down and talked to each other about what was important to us. And one of the things that was very important to us was helping our kids pay for their education. And so we were willing to sacrifice our retirement to be able to help them because we didn't want them to pay for some of our financial mistakes that we had made. So we really started to focus on this concept of helping our kids to reduce the cost of college because we started to watch the cost of college just skyrocket. Any of you, raise your hands if you're on the camera, any of you shocked about the high cost of college? Okay. It has skyrocketed, right? I know we've got Jennifer out there doing carpool, and she's probably going to experience this high cost of college pretty soon once they're driving themselves around, right? So the cost of college has literally gone out of control. And when my wife and I, when we were just getting started having kids, we weren't really thinking that it would be that expensive at the time, so you start sticking away a little savings and thinking that you're going to have enough. But by the time my wife and I really sat down and looked at our finances and looked at what it was going to cost to send 5 kids, which was the first mistake we made, 5 kids, now, to send 5 kids to college, we were like, holy cow, this is going to be extremely expensive. And I always tell everybody that I literally just became, passionate about this topic out of desperation more than inspiration. And I went through an entire year-long educational program on finances and money and everything that taught me what I'm going to share with you today about money in general, but more specifically about paying for college. And it actually taught me a new way to pay for college. Now, I was a financial advisor teaching everybody to use college savings plans like 529 plans and your traditional stock market stuff with, IRAs. I was setting up 401ks for companies and doing all of that traditional stuff. And then I realized that there was a better way to actually save and pay for our kids' college for a number of reasons, and we'll go over that in this webinar. But the biggest challenge I had was not that I had learned about a new way to pay for college. That was great for me, but I wanted to share it with the rest of the world, right? And if you know anything about, the financial industry or a mortgage industry or a real estate industry, the biggest challenge is having enough people to talk to. I know Tom and Maria on here, they are in the college planning space, and it's all about having enough people to share your message with, right? And that's what led me down this road of online marketing and using the internet and the marketing tools that are out there these days to create that steady flow of leads coming through your virtual front door. Okay. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. It has created a very profitable business for myself, and I want to share what I have learned with you so you can benefit from it as well. I'm going to share my screen and hopefully our technology holds through. And let's see here. I can no longer.
Lance, you muted yourself, brother.
Oops, that's better. How's that? Is that better?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you're seeing my screen. We're good?
All good.
All right. So unlocking the secrets to starting your own college funding business and tapping into this $700 billion college funding industry. So we just talked about a minute ago how the cost of college has been skyrocketing out of control, but that also leads to an opportunity in a very large industry. And I'm going to show you how you can make up to $100,000 part-time and also over $1 million full-time. Yes, it is possible. That's what I have been able to do, and I want to show you exactly how to do that. So with a flexible schedule and working from anywhere, I always thank Elon Musk at this point in time for Starlink, because I have been able to be in the mountains camping and hold appointments before. You can literally work anywhere. It's great. Now, here's my little disclaimer. Basically, what this disclaimer says is that this system I'm about to teach you works, but you have to work the system. I can't do your push-ups for you. So you actually have to implement this strategy in order for everything to work. Now, like I said, I'm a father of 5 kids, so I've learned all this information out of desperation more than inspiration. My oldest 2 already in college, so we're in the thick of everything, with my youngest guy down in elementary school and everywhere in between. I've got a daughter that's a cheerleader at high school, another one that was a cheerleader at Utah State University, and my oldest is at University of Utah, Utah Valley University down in Utah County. So lots of college funding to pay for myself personally. But like I said earlier, you can make money in any industry, real estate, mortgages, or the financial industry, if you have enough people to talk to. And that's what I'm going to show you. That is the opportunity that I discovered with college funding. I discovered this college industry as a great niche inside the financial services industry to be able to help families reduce the cost of college and pay for college without having a negative impact on their retirement, which is an extremely rewarding opportunity for us to be able to help families. And then, of course, we get paid for helping families to reduce the cost of college. So it's a win-win. Like I said, I've been obsessed about this topic for a while. So just a little bit more about myself. I was an Amazon bestseller of the book, The Retirement Scholarship Strategy, which talks a lot about these strategies of saving and paying for college. I'm going to introduce you to some of these concepts in this webinar as well, as far as what it is that we teach. Now, why the college funding industry? The college funding industry has over 2.4 million families going into college every year. So there is a huge opportunity just with the families that have kids going into college. That doesn't count everybody who has an elementary school kid and wants to know how to save for their education down the road. So this is just a significant opportunity of people that are faced with this problem right now. Okay. It's not something they can, procrastinate any further. The average cost of college per family is $200,000. That is basically 2 kids going to a state school. Now, if you have kids going to out of state or Ivy League type schools or private schools, or if you're crazy like me and have 5 kids going to college, your cost for college could be extremely high, which means that's going to make an impact on your retirement. In fact, if you paid $200,000 for your kids to go to college, instead of saving that money for retirement, then that money could have grown, that $200,000 could have grown to over $600,000 in about 20 years. So if you're 50 years old, by the time you're 70, you could have had $600,000 towards your retirement if you didn't have to help your kids pay for college. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that you shouldn't help your kids pay for college. I'm just saying that if we do it more strategically and we're smart about it, we can reduce the cost of college and we can pay for it in a better way so that it doesn't have that negative impact on their retirement. Okay. Now, like we talked about earlier, the cost of college has gone up over 1,400% compared to, what is this? 113% for a new car. So if you've bought a new car recently, I'm guessing that the new car cost you a lot more than it would have, 10, 20 years ago. But if you think that cost has gone up, the cost of college has gone up 1,400% compared to 113%. And the cost of college is increasing almost 8 times faster than wages. Now that creates a massive, massive problem, okay, which creates a massive opportunity in the college industry, basically, okay? The other thing that's nice about the college funding industry is that you're finding the ideal clients to help financially with not only paying for college, but also for their retirement. Because first of all, we typically target families that are currently saving for their kids' college, which means that if they're saving for their kids' college, they're probably also saving for retirement. That makes a pretty ideal client. They're also typically in their peak earning years. Their peak earning years are typically in those early 40s to the early 60s. Now, they're also clients that typically have some retirement savings. So we can help them improve their retirement position to be able to make up for the cost of college and help them with money that they already have saved for retirement. And finally, they are what we call the sandwich generation. Okay. The sandwich generation is where they have parents that are in retirement trying to figure out how they're going to help their money last for the rest of their lives. These clients of ours are also interested in protecting their inheritance. So they are usually influential in the financial decisions of their parents. And then finally, they've all got these kids that are either college bound or will be college bound, right? So they can help their kids to get off on the right foot with their retirement savings once they start their careers. And like I said earlier, there is a sense of urgency. We end up meeting a lot of families when they are in that final stage of choosing schools and planning for college, and they've got kids going to college in months or in just a year or two. So there is that urgency of solving this problem now rather than later. Okay. Now, just to give you a little heads up, at the end of this webinar, I am going to offer the ability to meet with us one-on-one for a strategy session to discuss how this can specifically apply to you and how you can take advantage of this particular system and training that I'm going to share with you. So in case you have to jump off early, take a little screenshot or a picture of that link with your phone. Kirk can maybe put that in our chat, but collegefundingbusiness.com/apply. If you would like to apply to have a one-on-one call so that we can help you strategize how to implement all this information. All right, moving on. What is the solution? So what is it that we actually teach? We know that it's a big industry. We know there's a huge problem. We know that there's a need. We know that there is a solution, but what is it? What is the solution? Well, I break it down into what I call 3 secrets to reduce the cost of college and pay for it. So first of all, secret number 1, this is where we have people who specialize in helping kids maximize all the free money that is available through scholarships, grants, tuition discounts, financial aid, whatever you want to call it. Reducing the actual sticker price of college is what we call secret number 1. How do we help these kids to maximize their merit-based scholarships, as well as how do we reposition in some situations the family's financial situation to maximize their financial aid eligibility? Whatever we can do to minimize how much they have to actually pay for college. Now, what we have found works best is to outsource this to those who specialize in test prep, essay reviews, admissions, all of those services that help these kids get into the school of their dreams and maximize all this free money. We like to outsource to those who actually specialize in those areas. But that is where families can save and reduce the cost of college and save thousands of dollars off the cost of college. Then secret number 2 is where we teach families the best way to finance the cost of college, through which loans to take, helping them find better interest rates on loans, and teaching them about government income-driven payment plans that could potentially offer loan forgiveness to the family. There are situations where families could save hundreds of thousands of dollars off the loans, not necessarily off the sticker price of college, but off of the financing of college. They could save a tremendous amount of money through some of the loan strategies. And then finally, secret number 3 is where we are in our lane, right? This is our lane. This is our domain. This is where we help families to really actually save the most money, which is in how they save and pay for college without having a negative impact on their retirement. I always like to say that how you pay for college is 10 times more important than how much you pay for college. If you think about it, does a car dealership make more money selling cars or financing cars? It's in the financing, right? That's where a lot of money is made, is in the financing. So we're talking about a college education that's anywhere from $100,000 on the low end, right, to $400,000 or $500,000 on the higher end. And how you finance that expense could end up costing hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. Now, we teach families, again, we teach families using secret number 1. We teach them how to save thousands of dollars off the cost of college. But we teach them how to save tens of thousands, and for some families, even more than that, off the college loans. And then finally, we can actually help families to reduce the cost of college by hundreds of thousands of dollars through what we call helping them save on the opportunity cost of paying for college. And I'll explain that in more detail in just a sec here. So let's dive in to secret number 3, because that's what I teach families, or I teach families. I focus on teaching families secret number 3. And that's what I recommend to you, is to teach families a better way to pay for college, because everyone is going to finance college, which brings me to the first way everybody pays for college. So in our webinars, when somebody registers for one of our webinars, when somebody finds our ad on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, and they register for a webinar, we are teaching families the 3 ways to pay for college in that webinar. That's the core messaging in our webinar, are the 3 ways to save and pay for college. The most expensive of which is paying cash out of your savings or your cash flow, or heaven forbid, your retirement. Now, for most families, this is a little confusing, because most people think that if they pay cash for college, that is going to save them the most money. That's going to be the cheapest way to pay for college. It's actually the most expensive way to pay for college. Let me explain. Let's say that you're going to pay $100,000 for college. And let's just say that your $100,000 could have earned 6% towards your retirement if you didn't pay $100,000 for your kids to go to college. So let's say that you're in your 50s and you've got easily another 20 years, and to be in your early years of retirement, okay? Over that 20 years at 6%, okay, your money could have grown to $331,000. That is what we call the opportunity cost of paying for college. The opportunity cost of paying for college is what your money could have earned if you would have let it continue to compound interest. So we actually teach families not to use 529 plans to save and pay for college, because if you use a traditional college savings plan, you're going to be required to spend that money on college, or you get penalized. So when you spend that money on college, then you are giving up all of this interest that you could have earned over the years. Okay, that is the opportunity cost. For example, let me ask you a question. Let's use our chat. Get out your chat there, and let me ask you a question. If Elon Musk is going to buy himself a beach house somewhere, do you think he is going to sell his Tesla stock so that he can pay cash for that beach house? Or do you think he's going to borrow the money from a bank and get a mortgage on the beach house? What do you think? Do you think he's just going to sell his stock, his ownership in his stock, and pay taxes on that just so that he can pay cash? What do you think? Let me pull up the chat here. All right. Siam says bank loan. Christy says get a mortgage. All right, perfect. Anyone else? All right, Kirk says borrow money. Mark says get a loan. All right. That's exactly right. Looks like everyone is agreeing. Okay, so that brings us to the next option. The less expensive option is to actually borrow the money for less interest than you could earn on your savings. So let's take a look. Let's do the math. Okay, let's just say that we are going to borrow $100,000 at the same 6% to start with, and then I'll change that, but let's just take a look at that. Okay, let's just say that we pay 6% to borrow the money. Now this right here, hold on, these windows are always in my way here. There we go. Now I can see. All right. This right here, this interest on those loans over 20 years, okay, we're looking at a 20-year loan. The interest on those loans is what everyone's trying to avoid. Everyone wants to avoid the interest. Now, they're not thinking about this interest up here, right? Most people don't think about the interest that they could have earned by paying cash, because that's not as easy to see as this interest that we're paying on the loans. But it's actually worse than that, because if we're paying $71,000 of interest, then that's $71,000 that is not earning interest, okay? So this $71,000 could have been going up here earning 6%. But instead, we're paying somebody else that interest to use their money, right? So we have to look at what we call the opportunity cost of that interest. So what is the opportunity cost of that interest? What could that interest have earned if we didn't have to pay that interest, right? Now, again, what's the other thing that we have when we have a loan? When we take out a loan, we've got a monthly payment on that loan. If you take out a home equity loan, if you take out a college loan, some college loans allow you to defer the payments while the kids are in school, but eventually you're going to have to be making those payments on those college loans, right? So there's a monthly payment on a HELOC. There's a monthly payment on a margin loan against your stock portfolio. You could go get a 401k loan, and there's always going to be a monthly payment on those loans, okay? So that monthly payment could have been earning interest for our retirement. We could have been saving that $700 a month towards our retirement. But instead, that money is now going towards this loan payment. So now we've got our principal payment, right? We've got our monthly payment of $700 a month. And then we've also got what we call the opportunity cost of those loan payments. Okay, so now, now we have, when we add it all up, the total cost of ownership. That's what this stands for. That stands for total cost of ownership. The total cost to borrow the money is exactly the same as it costs to pay cash. So guess what? It doesn't matter what you do, does it? It doesn't matter if you pay cash or if you borrow the money. If the interest rate that you're earning and the interest rate on the loans are the same. Now, what if I could borrow the money for less interest than what I could earn on my savings? Now, since when has it made more sense to borrow the money than to pay cash? Well, that's what the billionaires do. All right. These billionaires are not selling their stocks. They're not selling their real estate. They're not liquidating their assets to pay cash. They're using other people's money. Let me say it again. Everyone will finance college. You will either pay interest on loans or you will give up the interest that you could have earned by paying cash. Now, if you are not earning 6% on your cash and you're only earning 1% on your cash, then it makes way more sense to pay cash, doesn't it? So you need to know where you can earn a better rate of return than what it costs you to borrow. And that's, of course, what we teach our families. We teach our families how to do that. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. But let's get to the last option, the third way to save and pay for college, which is the least expensive, is to borrow the money for less interest than you could earn on your savings without a loan payment. Have you ever heard of being able to borrow money without a loan payment? Well, there are financial institutions that will allow you to use your money as collateral, which means that you're using your money to secure a loan, okay? And they don't require a payment on that loan. That doesn't mean that your loan doesn't grow. So let's go back here. Watch this. Let me change this back to 6%. You can see that it's the same, right? 331, 331. If I take off this loan payment, okay, it's still going to cost me the same because my interest is going to increase. And if my interest increases, then my opportunity cost on my interest is also going to increase. So the actual cost is the same. 331, 331. So again, let's say that I could borrow that money without a loan payment, okay, for less interest. Then it's going to save me more money. But now, what if I actually made that loan payment up here? What if I put the loan payment towards my savings? Now we're really talking about a major difference between the three ways to pay for college. Now, how do we possibly help our families to pay for college without having a negative impact on retirement? That sounds like a bunch of marketing jargon, right? Well, guess what? What's even more expensive than paying for college? What's going to cost families more money than paying for college? Paying for retirement. So instead of spending your money in retirement and interrupting all of that compounding interest, what if you could actually borrow the money in retirement for less interest than you're earning on your retirement savings? And then when you die, they get what you owe and the family gets what's left. That is the power of what we're teaching our families. So this is the old way to pay for college. The old way to pay for college is you save for college and then you spend it. Okay. That is like the goose that lays the golden eggs. If you kill the goose, they are no longer going to be laying golden eggs. And that's exactly how your money works. Your money works the same way. If you borrow the money and pay it back over time, then you've got the opportunity cost on the interest, the payments, and everything else, right? Okay, so if you had the choice, I'm asking you a question, pull up your chat here. If you had the choice and you could either pay your money towards your loans every month or put your money towards compounding interest every month, which would you rather do? If your mortgage company called up and said, hey, good news, we're running a promotion. You don't have to make your mortgage payments anymore. Okay. Now that doesn't mean that your mortgage is not going to grow. Your mortgage is still going to grow in value. But then when you sell the house, they'll just take what you owe and you'll get to keep the difference. Okay. What would you rather do? Would you rather put your money towards compounding interest? Or would you rather put your money towards loans? What do you think? All right, let's pull up the chat here. And go ahead and put it in the chat. What do you think? What do you think? Would you put it towards the loans or would you put it towards compounding interest? Let's see here. All right, there we go. Christy says compound interest. Awesome. Anyone else that want to take a guess? All right. Yep. You're right. Yep. You're right. Compounding interest, right? Why wouldn't you want to put your money towards the compounding interest? That is the key to maximizing your money. It's like two cars going across the country. One car is going 50 miles an hour. The other car is going 60 miles an hour. By the time you go from New York to LA, there could be a huge difference between those two, and your money works the same way. All of this money can be used in retirement. And then when you die, the loan gets paid off. Let me point out something very, very, very important here. If you use this strategy, okay, you are not in debt. Okay, you're not in debt because your loans can always be paid off by your savings. If your savings is growing at 6% and your loans are growing at 5%, you could always pay off your loans with your savings. So you're actually not in debt. And you only need 3 things for this to work. Number 1, uninterrupted compounding interest. Number 2, loans at a lower interest rate than what you're earning on your savings. And number 3, optional loan payments. So how in the world can you do that? How is that possible? Well, we like to use what they call an indexing product from the insurance companies. The indexing product from the insurance companies can help you to get about 80% on the upside of the S&P with a minimum of 1% guarantee. And then you can borrow from that money at a guarantee of 5%. So your average returns could be in that 6 to 8% return range with no risk of losing money in the market, right? You're guaranteed to never lose. So you could earn that 6 to 8% return, and you could borrow the money at 5%. Now, this is a specific type of life insurance. And generally speaking, the problem with life insurance is that it's very expensive because of the high fees of the life insurance. But there's a secret that we teach our families, which is the secrets of the wealthy. And that is how to reduce the insurance. Let me explain. Okay, if you go to bankdirector.com, there's a video called What is Bank-Owned Life Insurance? And it basically explains how banks are using life insurance. And like it says here, it's different than traditional life insurance contracts. It's got high cash value, which is what we would call the savings component, low insurance, okay? High cash value, low insurance, which means the cost is low compared to other products, okay? The cost is low compared to other products. Also, Tony Robbins, in this huge book where he went around and interviewed like 50 of the wealthiest people in the country, or in the world actually, he interviewed all these people and he wrote this book about what he learned from interviewing all these wealthy people about money. And in chapter 5, he talks about the secrets of the ultra wealthy that you can use too. And he talks about the tax benefits of the life insurance because the money grows tax-free. And since you're accessing the money through loans, you can access the money tax-free as well. And so that is how the billionaires are using what we call a Roth, they call it a rich person's Roth IRA, because you get all those tax advantages with millions of dollars. Now, it's not just the billionaires that are doing this, the most. It's the large corporations like Wells Fargo Bank has billions of dollars in their money going back to 2014. Okay. All right. Now, this is kind of a summary. Over here is what I would call the wrong way to do it. Okay. This is where we have a very small amount of cash value and a lot of insurance, which is where the fees and the commissions come from. Now, spoiler alert, we make money on selling life insurance to pay for college, right? That's what we teach. So we are going to teach our families how to do it the right way, okay? We're going to teach our families how to do it the right way, which means low fees, but it also means low commissions. But that's okay, because I'm going to teach you how to have this line of people to work with. So you're going to make your money through quantity, not necessarily lots of commissions on each person. Okay. So the way that this plan works, and in order to make this work for the families, you're going to want maximum cash value, minimum insurance. And that is going to be way less. This is comparing with a 1% fee. So if you paid 1% on a taxable account, an IRA or Roth IRA, the life insurance is that much less expensive from a fee standpoint, if done correctly. And like I mentioned earlier, this particular product that we like to use is getting an 80% on the upside of the S&P with no limit. Okay, no limit on the amount of money you can earn on the upside, but you're getting basically 80% of the S&P with a 1% minimum when the market goes down. So when the market goes down, or when the S&P goes down, you get at least 1. And when the S&P goes up, you're going to get 80% of the upside. So this particular product is called an indexing product, or index universal life insurance to be exact. And this particular product can average in that 6 to 8% range, and you're guaranteed to be able to borrow the money at 5. So let's review. A competitive rate of return of over 6% on average doesn't negatively affect your EFC or SAI number. Now, we haven't really talked about that in this particular webinar, but when a family fills out the financial aid forms, it's going to ask them a lot of financial information about their parents and the students. That is going to calculate what we call an EFC or an SAI number, and that determines how much financial aid that you're eligible for. So yes, it's true that you could be penalized for saving money into a traditional 529 college savings plan, or saving money into a regular savings plan, or saving money into a brokerage account. You could be penalized for having money in those accounts because it's going to minimize your financial aid eligibility. You want to increase your financial aid eligibility. And the money inside of this life insurance does not have a negative impact on your financial aid eligibility. It also has low fees if set up correctly. It grows tax-free, and you have access to the money tax-free. No stock market losses. Guaranteed loan approval. This isn't like qualifying for a car loan or qualifying for a mortgage. It's just more like a withdrawal request, but it's still considered a loan. Okay. Fixed 5% loans. You don't want variable loans. Some products do have variable loans, so you got to be careful that you're selling the correct solution to these clients. Okay. High contribution limits. We have clients that are putting in over $200,000 a year into these plans to be able to help their kids pay for college. Flexible contributions and access to the money. All right. Now, there is one other secret. I've talked about the 3 secrets to reduce the cost of college. There is what we call the bonus secret, which is secret number 4, retirement restoration from college funding. And that is where we help our families to learn how to increase their retirement income and make up for the cost of college through using life insurance. There's also what we call premium financing. We teach families about real estate, and we teach families about indexed annuities that can also give them an increased income in retirement. Here's what Kevin Harrington, who is one of the original sharks from Shark Tank, I had an interview with him and met with him, and this is what he said about our strategies.
Kevin Harrington here, original shark from Shark Tank. Ligeti teaches families how to pay for their children's college without sacrificing their retirement. I recommend these unique strategies to save and pay for your kids' college education.
All right, and this is some of our clients, what they've said.
My name is Diane. I first met Lance in 2018 at his education funding webinars on Facebook.
I was on social media, I was on Facebook, and I saw Lance, and he had an advertisement. I usually don't click on them, but I decided to take a look. I got to admit, I was a little skeptical because, you know, there's so many ads on Facebook, social media, and you never really know what you're going to get. So I had the normal hesitations that I'm sure yourself or normal people would have.
I met Lance Morgan when I used a strategy for college to pay for college and get that money back in retirement. And I was obsessed with, why did I not know this existed before now?
Lance taught my family and I to implement strategies to pay for college.
These are principles about paying for college that I was completely unaware of. I'm not a novice, but I'm not an expert, but I definitely learned some things that I didn't know about. I didn't even know I should know, to be honest with you.
I am somebody who has made a ton of financial mistakes, right? Like everything from not saving enough money, not saving enough money for college, not investing.
I have learned more about finances, investing and so forth from him, and a couple of phone calls that I have in the past 25 years from my financial advisor.
We had 2 1-hour-long Zoom calls, and I can honestly say that in those 2 hours, he taught me more about how I can apply this to my own life than Purdue has taught me in 2.5 years at this point.
He explains things so clear and so thorough with his examples, and the live videos and diagrams are really helpful to understand some pretty complicated topics that have at least been complicated in the way they were explained in years prior by other people.
He shared with us a lot of valuable information that we cannot find readily available on the internet or anywhere else for that matter. We don't find many people telling us and sharing the kind of information Lance does.
Lance just puts them in ways that are just super easy to understand.
And I'm at the point where if somebody's got a good idea how to pay for this very expensive education better than what I know, I'm going to take a listen.
He breaks things down, explains things very well, really helps you to understand the ins and outs, shows visuals and so forth. So I'm always excited for my next call with him.
It's really communicated in a very effective way that you're able to retain the information. And Lance's style is fantastic. He basically makes the information so that everybody can really understand it. Not only his method of presenting it, but he's got really effective graphics that he talks to behind him that literally allow you to kind of connect the dots between the principles that he's saying and what makes them actually work by combining both of them together. So I found it actually very enjoyable, but also extremely informative. When I listened to the basic principles that Lance was sharing, I said, well, the details of this must be really interesting and beneficial.
Okay, that's just some of the feedback from some of our clients about what it is that we're teaching them and the actual strategies that they can use to solve this massive problem of paying for college. So we've talked about the industry, right? We've talked about the industry and how great the industry is and the opportunities that are there, the massive problem that's there, and how we're helping them to solve that problem. We also looked at the strategies that we're teaching. So on our webinars, this is what they're learning. This is just a piece of what they're learning on these webinars. We go into more detail into case studies and some other stuff, but that's kind of the basic information that they're learning are these 3 ways to pay for college. And now I want to dive into the marketing behind all of this and what we have done to be able to create all of this, volume and all of these leads of people who are learning about this information and then saying, yes, I want to meet with you. I want to book an appointment with you. So again, if you have to jump off early, because I know we're pushing an hour, we're going to probably go for another 30 minutes or so. So if you have to jump off early, but you want to talk one-on-one and strategize on how this could work for you, then go to collegefundingbusiness.com/apply. And again, if what we have to offer you to help you implement all this is something that you're interested in, we can talk about how you can get started implementing all of these strategies. Okay, now let's talk about this done for you proven system that we have created that can literally line those people up outside your virtual front door. This is what we call a high converting lead generating process. Now, I've spent over $250,000 in marketing courses and masterminds We're currently spending over $15,000 a month on just coaches and consultants and copywriters and people to help implement all of these strategies and all this marketing. And I spent over $500,000 just last year alone on proprietary college search software to be able to help our families find out how much college is going to cost so that we can then help them figure out how to pay for it, right? And then over a decade and hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to create this business model that I am going to show you exactly how to duplicate. Now, I'm going to break it down into 5 steps. But the 5 steps are, first of all, more importantly than anything, you need a steady flow of leads. If you are not in the financial industry, if you are not in the college funding industry, then you might be worried about the learning curve and how you're going to learn all this and how you're going to get up to speed. Well, first of all, we have amazing trainings and we've got an amazing onboarding process to get you up to speed very quickly. But also, if you get a steady flow of leads coming in and you get lots of people to talk to, you're going to learn very quickly because of the pure volume of what it is that you're doing and all the people that you have to talk to. The other thing that you need in a successful system, if you're going to create a college funding business, is you need a webinar and you need videos, some way of educating, whether you do a video sales letter, where it's just a video that they register for and watch, or whether it's a webinar, either automated webinars or live webinars, but you need some way of teaching this information to the families so that then they'll book a call to talk to you and learn more. Now, you've probably heard the fortune is in the follow-up. So you need a follow-up system that emails your leads for years with valuable information so that when the time is right, they'll finally book a call. I've probably had 3 appointments this week alone where somebody has said that they've been watching my videos for years and they finally booked a call because their kid was going to college. Now they figured it was a good time, even though years ago would have been the best time. All right. You need a series of one-on-one appointments or a system to actually convert those leads into clients. So you need to educate them on the system and on the strategy. You need to collect their information. You need to find out how much college is going to cost. You need to find out how much of college they're going to pay for, how much the kids are going to pay for. You need to figure out what their plan was, if they were going to finance it or if they were going to pay cash. You need to find out what their budget is. You need to find out all these things so that you can build a college funding plan for them. Then you present the college funding plan, right? And then you help them implement it. That is the process. But you need a series of these one-on-one appointments to be able to convert them into a client. And then, like I've mentioned a couple of times, it's very important that you sell the right products that are designed correctly to accomplish what I'm talking about. You can't sell these life insurance products with maximum insurance, or it's going to cost there's going to be a lot of fees and it's not going to work. So you have to actually structure these plans in a way that will work for the client. And you need to have not just good companies, you need to have the best companies that have the best products so that your clients are getting the best solution. Okay, now, like I said, if you add those 5 up, or if you combine those 5 steps, combining those 5 steps, that is what allowed me to make over $1 million last year with this system. So I implemented those 5 steps that I just explained to you, and I was able to make over $900,000 just from one insurance company alone, because we typically sell whoever has the best product, right? So we're not just spreading all this business out, and we are completely independent. We access all of the insurance companies that we want, and then we can sell whatever product is the best. So yes, you can make over $1 million helping families to reduce the cost of college and a better way to pay for it. Now, let's break this down in a little bit more detail. Let's start with a steady flow of leads. Like I said before, there's a lot of money to be made in the financial industry. And again, the college funding industry is a niche inside the financial industry. There's a lot of money to be made. I have made over $100,000 on more than probably a half a dozen clients in the last few years. That's a lot of money on just one client, right? So there is a lot of commissions and money that can be earned in this industry, but you need to have enough people to talk to. So if you don't have enough people to talk to, it doesn't matter if you have the best product or if you have the best sales process. It doesn't matter if you don't have enough people to talk to. So we use a number of ways to get leads, but one of the ways, the main way, is through Facebook ads and Instagram ads. We've also used YouTube ads and what they call omnipresence with like banner ads. We've used, but mostly Facebook and Instagram, and we've ran ads to a video to watch or a webinar. Now, the importance, I can't emphasize enough the importance of the ad, because the ad is what calls out your client. So, for example, what we have found works best is running ads to families that have 529 accounts. So if we say, don't use your 529 accounts to pay for college, that's going to catch the attention of families who have 529 accounts. If we say, get free money for college, we're going to get everybody who's just looking for free money for college. Now, that doesn't mean that getting free money for college is bad, but would we rather get clients that are just looking for free money for college, or would we rather get clients that are saving for their kids' college? So the headlines, the copy, the images, the videos, everything that you do determines how many people click on that little learn more button. And your goal is to get people to click on that learn more button. I have ran so many ads over the years. Some ads have cost over $50 to get a lead, and some ads you can get a lead for $5 a lead. Okay. Now, this is just the 3 years from 2020 to 2023. We spent over $300,000 testing different ads during that time frame. Now, I told you that last year I made over $1 million, but to make that $1 million, I spent $163,000 on ads. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd say that's a pretty good return on my investment. So I invested $163,000 in ads last year, and I made over $1 million. Not a bad ROI or return on investment. Now, just in August, for the first couple, 2 or 3 weeks of August, we spent $10,000, and the average cost per lead at the moment is around $7. And we just are currently making some changes to get even that number to go down. Okay. So that's step one. Step two, webinars and videos to get those leads to book a call with you, right? So first of all, you need a registration page. So you have a Facebook ad that is going to send someone to a registration page. Well, first of all, we've tested hundreds of variations. We've hired copywriters. We've got the credibility of Kevin Harrington as a Shark Tank, so people realize that this is legit, a legit business. We've got hundreds of testimonials that we can use to get people to register, and all that results in a high converting landing page. Now, why is that so important? Well, that's so important because if I pay Facebook, $5 or not $5, but if I pay them $1 for a click and I get 20 out of 100 versus 30 out of 100 to register for the webinar, that makes a huge difference. And of course, it's not $1 for a click. But my point is that we're going to pay Facebook to send people to a webinar registration page. So the more people who register, the cheaper our leads are. Here's an example of one of our registration pages. Okay. And as you can see, we like to use the credibility of Kevin Harrington so that people realizes that this is legit. We've got testimonials on there. And of course, then we get the email follow-ups. Okay, so just because somebody registers for a webinar doesn't mean they're going to show up. All of you guys showed up to this webinar, but there's a lot of people who registered for this webinar who didn't. So we need to send emails leading up to the webinar. We've also found that text messaging is so much more effective than emails. We obviously do both, but we also automate all these text messages. So we've got text messages reminding our clients or leads to get on the webinar. Then we have the workshop or the webinar or the training. These are just, I mean, I've done hundreds, over 400 webinar presentations to try to dial in the presentation so that we get more people booking a call. Now, that takes a lot of trial and error to see what works. And this is just some of the feedback from people who have been on our webinars. I like William here at the end. Might seem like magic, but once you get it, it's magical. So, all right. So our webinars are converting around 20 to 30%. So 20 to 30% industry-wide is extremely high. That's a great conversion rate for a webinar from somebody that found us on an ad, from an ad online. All right. And then again, the fortune is in the follow-up. So a lot of people are not going to show up to the webinar. So then you need a series of emails to give them more information, or maybe spoon feed them the information 10 minutes at a time. And like I said earlier, I've had over 3 people, I think it was this week alone, that said they've been watching my videos for years. Okay. So you need to be sending people out emails all the time. We have over 100 emails that are automated once somebody signs up or registers for a webinar, or once we get a lead, once we get a name and an email, we've got an automated system to send out over 100 emails. And then we've also got just emails that we send every day to people who are on our list. This is just one of our copywriters that we used. Like you can see here, it says, our emails are killing it. And he was all excited about the open rate and the click-through rate. So getting a high open rate and getting a high click-through rate is crucial, because nobody's ever going to book an appointment with you if they don't open the email. So having subject lines and having email copy to get people to book an appointment is extremely important. And then that, of course, leads to some interaction. What's great about this is that we send out all these emails and people respond to these emails. And when they respond to the emails, then you can have these conversations with them, get them a video to watch, or get them your calendar link and get them to book a call with you. This is all part of the follow-up, and the same thing through text messaging. So we can send out text messages and get people to book an appointment through text messages as well. Or maybe they just have some questions or concerns or objections, and we need to help them overcome that. All right. And then that leads to the booked call. The one thing that you want is to open up your email and just see all these booked calls on there of people who are coming in and showing up on your calendar. There's nothing better than a full calendar, right? There's nothing better. Grant Cardone says the devil loves white space on your calendar. There's nothing better than having a full calendar of not just people to talk to. Let's make this very clear, okay? These are people who have watched a webinar or a video and learned about using life insurance to pay for college. And then they book an appointment on your calendar. I can't emphasize enough how easy it is to have a conversation with someone who's already pre-sold. And if they're not pre-sold, they're at least pre-intrigued about the idea. And then all you have to do is run their numbers and answer their questions and help them to implement these strategies, okay? And finally, or not finally, actually, the fourth thing that you need is a series of one-on-one appointments. I already kind of talked about that process. You gather their information, find out how much college is going to cost, find out a little bit about their financial situation, build them a college funding plan. We actually have a team, by the way, we have a team in our back office that runs all of those numbers and builds these college funding plans for us. All right. And then we just present the college funding plan and help them implement it. Okay. And then again, just making sure that you're using the right products and the right solutions. We've also got proprietary software that we've created to help these families do a little research and get a more accurate cost of college. Because if the family has a more accurate cost of how much college is going to cost, then we can build them a more accurate college funding plan. Okay. We also have had some college loan software created where we can calculate inflation and we can factor the cost of college with inflation, with the number of students. If they have 5 kids and they're all going to school 3 or 4 years apart, we can build one big college funding plan using some of these tools and resources. We use a lot of Allianz. Allianz is the #1 product that we sell. We do not work directly for Allianz. Allianz just happens to have the best product right now, so that's what we sell. But we have access to a lot of other products as well. Allianz, by the way, is the largest, if not the largest, they're in the top 3 largest insurance companies in the world. Okay, so they're financially stable, $162 billion company. They're huge. So our clients are getting good products and services. So just to recap, okay, you need a steady flow of leads, right? You need webinars or videos that do all the teaching, follow-ups, okay, and then a series of appointments to help these clients or help these leads become clients. And then you need the right products and services. So the question that I get all the time is, can I just have everything that you've already created? Can I just use your videos, your emails, your webinars, your Facebook ads, everything that you've already created? And of course, the answer is yes. Okay. All right. So let me walk you through what we call our licensing program, where you would license everything that we've already created. Now, you're welcome to go recreate it. Hopefully I've given you some good ideas of how you could build your own college funding business. But if you want to save hundreds of thousands of dollars and years and years and years of time through trial and error, then you can just buy our licensing program and you could have appointments showing up on your calendar next week if you wanted to. Okay. So first of all, just to give you some idea of some numbers, let's just use $10 per lead as a conservative number. Obviously, we always try to get those lead costs down. You saw a minute ago, we're at about $7 a lead right now. But let's just say $10 per lead. Now, we're also always working on getting the cost down that it costs for somebody to book an appointment. So whether they go to a webinar, whether they watch a video, whether they see a follow-up email, and then book an appointment, on average, on a high end, you're probably looking around $200 per appointment. Now, that is a qualified appointment on your calendar, okay? 20% average closing rate. Again, your closing rate should be higher, but a 20% average closing rate on, let's say, the low end. And then that means on average, we're at about $8,000 in commissions per client. So each family that we work with and that we help, the average commission is around $8,000. Sometimes it's $2,000, sometimes it's $100,000. But I would say on average, you're around that $8,000 per client, probably more like 10 or 12, 15 maybe, but we'll use 8,000 to be conservative. And then we are offering you a 60-40 split. So you get 60% of the commission, we get 40% of the commission. So basically, we're partners on this deal, meaning we are focused on your success, okay? So we want you to succeed. And the cost for that, okay, is $10,000 one time. That's a one-time $10,000 licensing fee for that 60% contract. So you get 60% of the commission for a one-time $10,000 licensing fee. We'll get, now, let me explain how this works. you are literally going to use our webinar, our videos, our emails, everything. But when they go to book an appointment from your leads, it's going to go to your calendar. So we're going to help you set up your own Facebook ads, but they're going to be our ads that we've already tested. You're welcome to create your own ads if you want as well. But we're going to use our ads. We're going to help you set them up. Okay. And then they're going to go to your version of my webinar. Okay. So it's me doing the webinar. I'm the one doing the webinar. I'm the one in the videos, but it's your license of that. It's your copy of that, if that makes sense. Okay. So you get a copy of my webinar and my videos and my emails and my text messages. You basically get a copy of my business. Okay. Then to be able to run all of this, it's going to be $500 a month for all the technology. You get the webinar software, the CRM, the calendaring program for setting it, for to book appointments, all of the training videos, all of our training videos, and all of the updates. So if we test a new video or if we test a new ad, anything that we do that gives us better results, we're going to give that to you as well. So basically, you're paying for the ongoing support and ongoing upgrades or improvements to the business model as we go. And then you can spend as much as you want on ads. If you want to spend 160 something thousand and make 600,000, you can do that, right? So you can make 60% of what I'm making. So you can use my exact same model and you can spend as much as you want. Now, if you already have a network, if you already have a lead or a list of leads, if you have a connection with a school district or something, and you want to generate your own leads that way, you can do that too. And just plug them into your system. Same way, works the same way. All right. Now, no money? No problem. We offer financing. Some of the best financing I've ever seen. Sometimes when you're financing a business opportunity like this, they really take advantage of you. The company that we work with is phenomenal at helping helping you get enough money to get this business started and even get some money to go towards some ads. Okay. Now, here's an example of what you might be able to make over the next 6 months. But hey, it doesn't have to be over the next 6 months, right? You can, condense this. You can spend more than this. You can spend less than this. But let's just use an example of $100 a day. So if you spend $100 a day on ads for the next 6 months, that's going to be $18,000 total that you're going to spend on ads over the next 6 months, okay? That should generate about 1,800 leads conservatively. Okay, so 1,800 leads. Now, you don't have to wait for them to show up on your calendar. You're welcome to call them as soon as you get the lead and just see if you can get them to, book an appointment with you over the phone. You don't have to wait. You could call those leads right away. But if you wait and you just let the system do its thing, you should end up with about 90 qualified appointments, but you should be able to double that if you made some effort and made some of those calls, okay? So 90 qualified appointments that will show up on your calendar. That's 18 new clients at a 20% closing rate. So if you close 20% of them, that's 18 new clients. Average commission, $8,000. That's $144,000 of commission, and you get 60% of that, which would be $86,400. Again, not a bad investment. You spend $18,000 on leads or $18,000 on ads, and you get $86,000 back. Not too shabby, from a rate of return standpoint. All right. Now here's April, who is currently using our system, and what she has to say about this system.
I was a client before working with Lance, and I cannot say enough positive things about this proven system. I had zero financial experience, insurance experience before working with him and his team, and he just made it incredibly easy to be able to achieve success. So, you know, the first question is sort of like, where am I going to get the clients, aside from the training, which was incredible, but he makes it so easy. You know, you've probably seen one of his webinars or replays, and so much of that material, the videos and things like that, really pre-sell people, pre-qualify them for being able to have conversations. So then you can put the focus exactly where you need the focus to be, which is on creating relationships and figuring out how you can help people to, you know, fund college, you know, work on how they can pay for college and get that money back in retirement, which is incredible. And then I got to work with an incredible group of people. The camaraderie that we have is amazing. Anytime I had a question, especially being new, you know, somebody would be able to help me, hop on the phone with me. Lance conducts trainings on a weekly basis and helps you with every aspect. He's just been incredible to work with. So that's great. And then, you know, for me, I started this on a very part-time basis. So, you know, for me, it's all about what's going to be the return on, you know, the time that I put in. But imagine being able to make $2,000 or $3,000 from an hour or two of work, or on larger cases, you know, working on them for a few hours and being able to return $6,000 or $10,000 or even $25,000 or $30,000 if it's an annuity. That's the type of income that's possible. So it's just made me want to kind of keep turning the wheel in terms of what I have been doing for work, and just put more and more effort in, because what we're doing is we're helping people and we're helping ourselves. It's just an incredible win-win. So you can't go wrong with this proven system.
All right, here's Kyler.
Hi, this is Kyler, and I just want to jump on here and talk a little bit about my experience working with College Funding Secrets. So I'm 34 years old, and my background is in the trades. I was a licensed journeyman plumber for 12 years, and I was just ready for a career change. I was ready for something new. And I was really looking for something with more flexibility and more freedom, something I could set my own schedule with, work my own hours. And I come across this business, and I was a little bit intimidated at first because I didn't know anything at all about college funding or finance or sales or anything like that. So I was a little resistant at first, but there's all these videos Lance has got out there, and I just started watching them, and I spent hours and hours just absorbing all the information, and I decided, you know what, I love the product, I love what they're doing, and I'm all in. So I jumped in, and it was really cool because in the first 4 months I made more money than I'd made in my best year plumbing. And so that was really cool. And I was working my own hours and setting my own calendar, and it was just awesome. Also, the team of people that we work with are the best people out there. Our trainings, I learned so much from them. There's guys and gals working there with tons of experience, and they're so willing to help. You can jump on the phone and ask them questions, and that's just been so nice. Also, Lance, you know, what a resource he is with all of his experience, and I've loved every minute of working there. I think it's the best decision I've ever made.
Okay, and let's see if this one, hold on. Whoops. Let's see here. There's Cade.
Over the past year, I've had an incredible experience with the College Funding Secrets plan that Lance has put in place. It never ceases to amaze me how well done everything has been, and that he's established. Obviously, he's been doing it for a long time, so he's ironed out all the details himself and has given us a ready-to-go package. From the webinars that he holds, the videos he creates, the website, softwares, the behind-the-scenes stuff, it all runs very smoothly into allowing you to spend the time meeting with clients, getting to know them, and actually selling the product. Not only that, but the leads that Lance brings in are high quality leads. They've been pre-qualified. I don't know what he's doing in his marketing, but it works. The people that come to you are ready to go, they're qualified, and they're eager to learn. I had a client not too long ago that booked a first call with me. On the first call, I don't think I'd been talking to him for more than 5 minutes, and he'd asked me to sign up. That's how easy these leads are to convert. The videos, the webinar, they do all the hard legwork for you. All you've got to do is be there, give them a good customer experience, and occasionally you're going to have that client you've got to sell. But for the most part, Lance has done an amazing job at bringing you high quality leads. The income potential is amazing to go along with it. That's always a plus, along with the flexibility of the job. You pick your hours, your schedule, and it just works really smoothly.
All righty. Let's see here. Let's see if this one plays.
Hi folks, my name is Jerry Thomas, and just wanted to give a quick shout out to Lance Morgan and Lance's system, and kind of let you know a little bit about it and how well it works, at least for me. I've been in the industry for quite a few years, and obviously one of the biggest frustrations that you have is getting people to talk to, and especially qualified people to talk to. You know, eventually you run out of people in your natural market, and when people find out that you're in the industry, they kind of run from you and they don't want to talk to you. And that's always been a very big frustration in the industry. I met up with Lance a little over 10-12 years ago and have been working with him ever since and been using his system. And it has been a night and day difference in my ability to talk with people and to be able to help them out with their life insurance needs and annuity and retirement planning as well. His system is designed that I don't have to go out and do any of the marketing. Lance takes care of that for me. And I wake up in the morning, I look at my calendar, and mysteriously and wonderfully, there are new appointments on my calendar for me to talk to, people that are qualified, people that are interested in the program. And it's taken a lot of pressure off me to be able to have the people needed and necessary to talk with. Now, recently, my wife and I took 2 weeks off, and we did a cross-country road trip, and we ended up in Arkansas. My oldest son is starting medical school this year. And so I was really out of the office and not really working. I was kind of a working vacation and was able to talk to several clients that I needed to while I was on the road. But the most amazing thing to me is, even though that I was gone from the office and really had not made myself available, my calendar kept filling up while I was gone. And so when I returned home and got back to work, there were people, qualified people, ready, willing, and able to listen to you. Lance's system has been a godsend to me and has been able to increase my production. I would highly recommend it to anybody that is interested in having their own business and being able to support that business with ongoing leads. And obviously, like I said in the beginning, that is the biggest problem that people have with this industry. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any of those. Do not hesitate. This has been a wonderful experience and a wonderful opportunity for me. And I really don't know where I would be right now without the ability of using Lance's system. So it is a wonderful opportunity. Please take advantage of it. Thanks.
Okay, last one.
My experience working with Lance and his system to generate leads has been great. I own and have owned several businesses, so I value the importance of a turnkey system, understanding the fact that I don't have to go out and generate leads. Those leads are coming to me. I get to work and focus with my clients. Also, he's taken years of experience and a wealth of knowledge, putting it into a training course, into a library that I can access at the drop of a hat when I need the support. So my overall experience with Lance and his system has been exceptional.
Awesome. Okay. So let's see here. So as far as like how this works, and by the way, go ahead and put your questions in to the chat there. We're going to jump into the questions in just a sec. But like I was saying earlier, the way this works is we're literally taking my entire business and copying it and giving you a copy of my business so that they're your leads going to your calendar. That's it. It's me doing the webinar, me doing the emails and the videos. I mean, we've got hundreds of videos over the years that we're going to be able to email to these clients. And as you just heard from all of these people using this system, you don't have to be me. Just because I'm the one in the video doesn't mean that all of these people aren't very successful using the system, right? So these people are learning about this on the video, but then they're working with some of these people to actually implement the strategies. So you guys don't have to be in the video to be able to meet with these families and work with them. You just tell the people that you're on my team, right? You just say that you're a part of my team and that you're going to help them out to implement it as a college funding specialist. And that's how the whole system actually works. And like I said, we've got lots of trainings. We do weekly trainings. We've got 2 trainings a week to help you get up to speed, but we've also got everything organized inside of a membership area. So you can just dive in and start watching some of those videos and get up to speed really quick. And then that brings us to the Q&A. So again, we are looking for a very limited number. And I will be honest, we've actually already got several people. I don't think we have very many spots left. We've probably only got a few spots left because we want to get started with 10 people so that we can help them get up and running and be successful before we bring on anybody else. So there's limited availability right now. So you have to apply for this because we need to make sure that you're a good fit for us. And you, of course, want to see if we're a good fit for you, but you're going to be representing our name and our brand. And we're all affected by, everybody using our name and our brand. So we want to make sure you're a good fit and that this is the right opportunity for you. So book a call by going to collegefundingbusiness.com/apply. And then we can do like a one-on-one strategy call with you to see if this is a good fit. And with that, I will turn the time back over to Kirk. Kirk, did you have any questions that popped up earlier you want me to start with?
Yeah, good question. Let's see here. I think people were asking a specific question on the type of IUL. Let's see if I can find that particular
there, I
one.
see it.
Yeah, which IUL product and provider is used here?
Great question. So we like the Allianz IUL. We feel like it's the #1 product on the market right now, but there's also other options, other companies that are good companies as well. So there's probably, we have our top 3 or 4 that we use, but most of it is with Allianz because we feel like they have the best product right now. So.
Awesome.
Lance, could you address a little bit more about the support? I know you do 2 calls each week. So you maybe just talk about the 2 calls, and then I know we're doing a WhatsApp group for them as well. So just talk about the support a little bit.
Yeah, so one of the trainings we have each week is going to be designed for people getting started, and we're going to train specifically on what to do on that first call, what to do on that second call, what to do on that third call, how to get people, closed and how to go through that process. So the one training that's going to be on Wednesday mornings is going to be focused primarily on the process, those appointments that you're going to be holding with the clients. And then on Thursday morning, we train on sales training ideas, some motivation. We share a lot of wins. Everybody we always like to hear everybody's wins for the week. And then we also give you some sort of an additional financial idea or some sort of an idea, a sales idea that can help to explain the concepts better. This morning, for example, we were training on annuities and how to benefit from those and how to help clients understand those a little bit better. So we're going to usually do some product training. Also, as far as support goes, the people that we've got in our family here are so willing to help each other. You heard that on some of the testimonials. On some of the testimonials, you heard everybody say how great this little camaraderie and this family is that we have. And it is a very, very fun. It's fun to see everybody help each other out. So it's not just me helping you. I've got my A team that have been with me for a long time that are very, very helpful, that can help you as well. And then also we have our, what they call an IMO, which is kind of like our back office support, if you will, where they have over 50 employees and they know the ins and outs of the products. So when it comes to product support or like a case design, I mentioned earlier that we have somebody else running all of these case designs for us. that's our back office support. So you gather the information, they build the college funding plan for you, and they know what we do. So that's really, really easy. And then if you have specific questions about products or solutions, they are always standing by and available to answer your questions. So you'll be assigned, you know, somebody over there to work with, and they're amazing. So
if somebody doesn't have they're not licensed currently, I know we're supporting them to help them through that process of getting it.
yeah, so we're going to get you the study material. We're going to help you get started on the licensing process. You're going to need the life insurance license. So you don't need any of the securities licenses or anything like that. You're going to need just the insurance license. It's one of the easiest ones to get. We'll get you the study material. We'll help you get through that. And then simultaneously, we'll get you going. Like, we're going to get all your software set up. You know, we're going to get all of the calendaring set up, and we're going to get everything set up for you. So while you're getting licensed, you can get licensed in the first week. It's not that bad. And then once you're licensed, we're going to be ready to go. You're going to be meeting with people, and we're going to be there to help you. So in the beginning, you know, you're going to be talking to people and you're going to be new. And so we're going to work with you on that, on what to say. And if you need help, you just say, hey, that's a great question. You know, let's book your call. Let's book your next call with one of our college funding specialists. And you can just book a call with somebody that's already trained and up to speed, that's a college funding specialist with lots of experience, and they can help you close some of those more complicated deals. So, and then Amanda says, yes, you are getting initially licensed in your own state. And then, so you only have to pass the test once. And you only have to get licensed once, but then you have to get additional licenses for the other states that you want to market to. So depending on where you want to do your marketing, if you want to just do all of your marketing in your own state, then you would just need the one license. If you want to do marketing in other states, then you would just need to pick up those licenses. But those are usually really inexpensive, $100 or so to get licensed in other states. It's just a fee. There's no like test or anything.
And oftentimes, you know, if you start the process right in the sales process, you could be, and you find you get a lead from a different state, you can apply for the license. By the time you get to the point of going through underwriting, you'll have the license. You'll be licensed in the state, right, Lance?
That's correct. Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's pretty quick and easy to get licensed in other states as you go as needed. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Amanda. Really good question.
Perfect. Let's see here. Amanda, I see that you asked a question about how many agents were under you during when I made the $1 million, basically. So the way that worked is in 2023, about 800,000 of the million was from my own business. About 200,000 was an override, you know, or a commission split on other agents. This year, I'm transitioning and I'm not doing as many appointments myself. And I'm helping more people like you guys to get up to speed, right? And so this year that's transitioning a little bit. I'm still on track to make the same amount from the commissions this year, but it's a lot less from me personally doing the business, and it's more overrides. So this year it's more overrides, but in 2023, it was mostly all my business. Hopefully that answers that.
Amanda, you got a lot of good questions. You might want to make sure you get on Kirk's calendar and
yeah, for sure. How many agency members do you have? What's the average they make? Oh, so great questions. Amanda, some of my people are just getting started, so it's kind of hard to say, but a lot of them are on track for 6-figure incomes for sure. And we're growing very quickly. So, I mean, we just kind of shared some fun successes this morning, and a lot of people just had some really big wins recently with making more money this last month than they've made in an entire year before. So things are definitely growing very quickly, and we're starting to see a lot of fun success coming in from that. So perfect. Great questions. Any other questions?
And if you don't feel like typing, you can just go into the reactions button. You'll see a big heart there, depending on the version of Zoom you have. You raised hands, or you can just go ahead and turn on your camera and unmute yourself. We'd be happy to take a question, you know, interact with you directly.
Yeah, if you want to unmute, let's chat. I know we've been going for a while, and I know some of you had to jump off. Hopefully the recording worked. You know, we'll shoot out the recording. You can get on Kirk's calendar, book a call, book a call there using that link, and you can learn more about this offer and what it entails, and then we can kind of go from there. Does that sound good? Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Well, I know we've been going for a while, so we'll jump off, and thanks for being on. Again, if you have any of the questions, just book a one-on-one call. That's where you can just really dive in to some of these details. So again, thanks for being on, and we'll be talking to you on the other side. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Lance.
Yep. Later. See ya.